my own OnlyFans or whatever, it makes them like, you know, people search for it, which makes them money sort of thing.
It just makes sense to have your own content like working for you.
Well, you know, it does now. See, the thing is,
back in the day.
One thing I've noticed about the business is, right, you never know what's coming.
Yeah.
And you've got to adapt. Like, we've been around 16 years and we've adapted. But, like, if we say, what's the next big thing, we'll never guess. And content share was like the girls taking it back because rates went down. I mean, it's never been the same since the recession, because for some reason, the recession and the rise of piracy came out almost together. And then you had the government with Adford trying to fucking shut everyone down unless you pay a fee. So it's like, it just went out of control, and the girls were like, well, I want to keep working in the sex industry, but I have to fucking find other ways. So we started making their own stuff, which I think is quite good. But there's also, I mean, I think this is double standards, right? This is probably going to be a bit controversial. I'll probably get people whinging. But I'm speaking from a producer's point of view, right? So I'm sure you give it at your side, models, but I kind of come from that angle, because obviously, you know, I come on the face, don't I? But you know what I mean? But like, so anyway, so my point being, right, so some models obviously get together with performers and shoot content, which again, you've got to admire them for taking their own career into their own hands and that. But some of them are forward thinking, and they will hire a cameraman and an editor, or sometimes someone who does both, to get that higher level of quality to sell on their clip sites. So that's great. You know, you effectively are a producer, you know, when you're on that level as a content share person offering their own stuff. However, there's a few people I talk to, they don't want to pay the cameraman or the editor, right? Which is fine. So they offer a copy of the content as, you know, for your trouble.
Incentive, so they'll get paid at least something.
But a cameraman and a video editor sometimes was never a porn producer. He's just said, well, I can film, so I can film porn. How hard can it be? And some porn producers have never shot anything for years, and then all of a sudden, you know, where they used to make their money off editing videos and stuff, the models aren't wanting to pay them, right? So people are opening up clip sites for the sake of opening up clip sites just because they've been given this content off models and they don't know what to do with it. They didn't get paid, so they're setting up clip sites just so they can try and hopefully recoup what they've just done for somebody, right? Now, you know, this is the controversial bit. Do you not think that's a little bit double standards? Like, seriously, all I see on Twitter is models saying, I just had a guy come in my free chat room, and the minute I said, oh, you can see more of us, you know, in my private room, that's where you start and pay, they fuck off. Or I get guys asking to see me tits for free, and, you know, I'm a sex worker, you have to pay for me time. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, so why are you not paying cameramen and editors then? See what I mean? No, that is double standards though, isn't it? Like, because they're not used to paying out money because they're used to being paid. And even if you decide to do your own content, there's still fucking travel involved, and hotels and locations and stuff like that, and everyone has to chip in, you know, to make it all fair. That's why we cover travel when they come to us, because it's like, we need them up here on the set and Nerd Pervert.
Yeah. So
we can't, like, expect them to pay for their travel to come up and it not cost us a thing. I mean, obviously it's costing our time because we make the thing, but, you know, it's like, it's far better to either go halves on the travel or cover the travel in full. I mean, I just think that's only fair, do you?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? So what do you think of this content share thing? Because you're new to it.
I am new to it. I like the idea of it because...
But you're too lazy.
I am too lazy.
That's what you said. You said that. I'm not calling you that, by the way.
I am yet to set up like an OnlyFans or a ManyVids or anything. But for me, it's because I'm waiting until I have enough content so that I can start releasing like weekly things.
Regularly.
Because obviously, yeah, you don't want to just put the odd thing up and then have nothing for ages. Because then who's like going to subscribe to any of them? So.
Well, that's a very good point, right? Because a lot of models, they don't keep the content share shoots coming in regularly.
Yeah.
So it's not just about saving your content bank up before, so you can release it, and like you say, so it looks like you're always updating it.
Yeah.
But some models do shoot for like 3-4 months solid, and then don't shoot for the rest of a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put the content on because they've got enough, but they do run out. I mean, sometimes we get asked to do content because obviously we're a production studio that does it. So we offer a higher quality thing than two performers getting together. And that's not being big-headed, it's just the fact, isn't it? It's like if you're a production company, you're going to know what you're doing more, where performers are learning as they go along. But it's weird how, for some reason, like, you know, models are like not gun-ho like enough, and they wait until the content's run out, and then they contact people like me or someone else and go, I need content and stuff like that, because your sales will go down. Now I always find it's always best to keep a regular influx coming, like you said, James, because if you end up putting something on, chances are that scene you've just put on will not sell like straight away. What will happen is, if you've already got loads of other stuff on your profile, it just makes your profile stand out on the website you're on as something that's regularly updated. And then what they do is they look through your clips list and they will buy something, but it might not be the latest one. All the latest one does is really like just says, look at me, I'm updating every week, and it keeps people on your radar, you know what I mean? So you've got potential buyers. And then eventually when you start uploading another clip, which is completely different, the one that you put up previously starts to sell because the other one's notified people that your profile's there. So it's like weird how it works, you know what I mean? So, I mean, obviously we shoot content share and paid, but we tend to pay more new girls than porn stars, which I never thought I'd ever say that. Like, wouldn't you thought the career porn stars would want the money, but they don't, because they've got the fan base, so they're the ones who are more worthwhile shooting their own content because people know they're there to buy it. You know, it's no point in trying to say to a new girl, well, I'll tell you what, if you do this as a content share, and then if you start to set your own clip site up, and you keep regular, I mean, that's going to be sitting there for ages not making them money, so it's like not fair on them, is it? You know what I mean?
You have to think as well, the new girls that we get from up this area as well. So a lot of the time it's the lasses that are up here, not from London as well.
Yeah, we do get a lot of girls from around here. The northeast of England, Londoners, is the place to be for new girls, right? It always has been, but it's terrible lately, isn't it? Or good, depends which way you look at it. But yeah, it's really, really funny. Like, London used to always be where it's at, and it's still where all the award shows are and stuff. But I don't know, the UK industry's like scattered about the UK now, and there's only a handful of companies still going in London to work for. Well, you've worked for one of them, James, haven't you?
Oh yeah, PRCF.
What was that like?
It was good. It was a bit of a shock though, that drive all the way down.
Jesus, I don't know. You
hundreds of miles, and then the drive back after the scene. It was a little bit of a mad one. But no, yeah, they were a great like production company. But I must admit, I thoroughly enjoy working here because it's on my doorstep. Yeah, and it's very relaxed.
Well, I think the only reason I mean, honestly, if I'd never performed, I don't know, I might be right ball breaker. Because I think when you've done it, you know what you're asking.
Exactly.
If people were, you know, like, you know, hello Charlie, by the way, if you're listening, because Charlie from Pure CFNM, he's done a podcast interview years ago. Class. He's probably grey haired now, like, because I've never seen him for years. But yeah, so, and obviously with him, he's just a producer and a cameraman and whatever. Yeah. I mean, he's a nice guy and he's good to work with as well. But what I'm saying is, I think there's more chance for you to be a bit more forceful with people. Not Charlie, I just mean in general.
No, yeah.
If you haven't done it before.
Well, it's one of them things. Whenever you go to anyone different, people do expect different things. So that's why I quite like always coming back here working with you, because now we have this groove. Like we know exactly what we're doing, and it's not like different every single time. Whereas, like, even going down to pure CFNM, it just, the way everything works is just completely different to the way, like, you work.
Yeah, but didn't I say to you, though, that, like, you got a chance to grow into the part because you're always doing the same thing all the time, so you get comfortable and comfortable. And I remember the first time you stuck your wig on to try and give yourself some character, and you didn't know what to fucking do, and then naturally you just started flicking your hair all the time, so there's a character trait that came out of the wig.
Pretty much.
It was like, it created itself, didn't it? And I think you tend to, I don't know, it's weird, like, I've spent 7 hours at the UCAP Awards in character.
Right. Oh, that was horrendous.
That was for you, because you always twisted on my head's itchy.
Yeah, it is.
Like but
I always have, like, a red ring around my forehead where the, like, netting is.
And that's why, obviously, with Scarlet Leaves, I'm talking about changing the format slightly. I won't go into it now, but, you know, the scope to do that. But if I can do that for 7 hours with no script, the chances are I'm now a little bit of a control freak to have everything so perfect. Like, maybe we need to wing it a bit more and just loosen up a bit. Plus, there's a lot of unreliable people in this fucking business that sort of ceases nerd pervert to exist at the minute. You know what I mean? Mentioning no fucking names whatsoever, like, you know what I mean? I mean, we were only fucking shooting on Saturday, weren't we? It was a great shoot, that wasn't it, James?
Yeah, no.
Fucking great it was.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, exactly. Not a fucking word either. Not one fucking word.
Jesus, yeah.
So I've been told not to bother, by the way, by someone who knows her very well.
Oh, okay.
So we'll leave it at that. So last month, on the 20th of September, was the UK Glamour Awards held in Tottenham Court Road in London. So they created the show-stopping event. It was on the 20th of September, and it was hosted by Dane Bowers and former Fragma vocalist Maria Ruber. And the awards were given out for the best categories in different genres. And it ranged from Grid Girls to Daily Sport Girl of the Year. So obviously we could go down the whole list of who won what, but it's already been covered, like, obviously on the UK Glamour Awards site. But we have to say that we're proudest of one of our very own, Selena Secrets, winning Best Webcammer in a category that wasn't BBW based. I mean, that's monumental, isn't it?
Yeah, that was really well done of her.
She did really, really well there. Yeah. So, Sel, if you're listening, congratulations,
well
because
done.
That's going to be remembered for a long time.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest highlights of the evening, I've got to say this, was the Petrolhead rally showing up in their Lamborghinis in Tottenham Court Road, where we've been there to some award shows for Paul Raymond. Yeah, and it brought the whole of Tottenham Court Road to a standstill, right? And drivers was slowing down and passing by, were getting their smartphones out and taking pictures and stuff. So, and they even provided a Lamborghini for a backdrop for the adult Genie girls. It's a new website that's about to launch.
Yeah.
And obviously the models could pose in it and pose against it and stuff like that. I mean, you know, UCAP's been the longest running award show, and then Paul Raymond's been for about 5-6 years now. And the Adult Glamour Awards is their second year, or it might be their third year. Kaz B, if you listen, I do apologise if I'm getting that wrong. I know it's newish. And they seem to be fucking outstaging everybody. I mean, well done. No, but like,
it is really good.
You say it's not a competition, but it is like just a healthy one. And if an award show that's been going 2 years, 3 years at the most, can have Lamborghini and really, really wow people, you know, maybe Paul Raymond and UCAP have to up their game. You know what I mean, Terry?
Yeah.
So. So yes, Friday gone was the UCAP Awards.
Ooh,
so,
we didn't get to go this year, did we?
Well, we decided not to. We already weren't going. Typical. What fucking happens when you don't go?
We win an award.
I don't fucking know. I'll tell you what, right now, I mean this in a nice way, right? Like, whoever voted or whatever judges put us forward, like, we're grateful. But it just seems like, I'm not fucking bothered. How do you feel? I really don't give a fuck. Like people
that sounds awful.
No, people's like saying congratulations, and I'm just like, yeah, cheese.
It's nice to win, obviously, but as we've said together before, that we should have won sooner.
Yeah, but again, right, one thing I hate about it, and it probably went on the night just because we weren't there, people who think they should have won over other people, I fucking hate that. Yeah. Like, get a fucking life and stop being so self-indulgent, you know what I mean? I hate that. However, I do think when we started to make waves with the brand rising to popularity is when we should have won.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not even going to say what year it was. I just think our time's passed, and now where we are, like DVD deals, the German TV deal, an American DVD deal, and it's like, right, whatever level we're on, and I don't want to say what level we're on, that's for other people to say, we're stuck now, right? Yeah. So we're either going to go up or we're going to go down, right? Yeah. Probably down though, now fucking look, right? But the point is, we're just doing our thing, year in, year out, Nerd Pervert, Season 8, Season 9, Season 10. Mm-hmm. Business as usual.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think now we're just lost in the madness. It's like we don't stand out anymore because we're just there.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it was a missed opportunity. That's just my opinion, you know. I'm still grateful for everyone who took the time. Don't think that we're not. But I just think, so, you know what I mean? That's just the way I feel about it. Maybe it'll sink in a bit more when I get it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's never been my number one thing anyway.
To win, no.
No. I've never kicked off and said, fucking hell, I'm not coming again, and all that. And I bet it went on, that night that went on, models fucking kicking off because they should have won. I just think, like, how can you think that much of yourself? It's embarrassing, though, isn't it?
Really, they should be happy for the people that won, because obviously there's a certain criteria that you get chose on, not just votes.
No, but imagine like somebody winning who
There's a
did
reason for it.
who didn't expect to win though, and then them overhearing someone saying, "Well, I should have won that. Why is that person won it? Because I've done this, this, and this, and they haven't." You just think, pardon, like. Poor bastards, like the people who've won. So that's getting taken away from them just because someone thinks they're better. And that's one of the reasons why we've missed a few events. So I just can't be around there anymore. I'm too long in the tooth. I just like to sit at my computer and create. And if somebody likes it, great. If they don't buy it then. You know what I mean? So just as an example of how serious people take it, right? One girl was nominated for Best Newcomer. She didn't win, so she left the business because she didn't win an award in the first year. And I'm like, what?
A lot of people don't win an award in their first year.
No, but the thing is, it doesn't matter if you never win. It doesn't mean that you're shit.
No.
You know, it just means that, I mean, some of the biggest names in the industry don't seem to get nominated for the UCAP Awards. Well, where's their fans at then? Why is their fans not nominating them?
Forward, yeah.
So people who are amazing and already doing well sometimes don't get nominated. It's just the luck of the draw. So for someone to really be down on the luck and go, "I'm giving up," then that must mean I'm shit. It's like, well, we must be diabolically fucking losers if it took us this long to win.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like I said, it just totally goes over my head.
Well, I mean, I'm expecting to win an award on my first year.
Well, exactly. So are you going to quit though if you don't win? Are you going to spit the dummy out?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Such a drama queen.
Fucking diva already. When will be your first year? Did you take notes?
I don't know. It depends when you actually release some of the scenes I'm in.
Well, you're in some of them. See, this is one thing about Nerd Pervert, folks, right, is we shoot that far in advance, and it takes the piss at the minute. Like, there's no need to have that many episodes in advance. And I kind of want to drop them all now, just because some of the things that we're planning, no one's going to fucking see it for ages. The only people who's going to see it is probably you if you come round to see the dailies of how it's starting to form. And it's like, for God's sake, so the changes, it's like Scarlett's leaving at the end of this year. That means she's filming no new episodes. But you're going to be in it till at least midway into season 10. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people's like going, "Oh, it's Scarlett," and it's like, she's going nowhere to you. She's in fucking that many advanced.
Still in for like almost 2 years or something.
No, exactly.
I'll have been left.
So yes, so the other week Terry got banned from his Naked Truth Twitter account. Obviously he's back now, but it was for 7 days.
7?
Yeah, just because he had an argument with someone who was like of the religious type. That's all I'm going to say on it, because this will be a longer than a 2-hour stream if I go down that route. But yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous that, like, fair enough, freedom of speech, right? Believe in God, don't believe in God. But I wouldn't block someone or report someone's profile for believing in God, even though I think it's a load of shit. Sorry for anyone who believes in it. And I wouldn't expect someone to do that to me for not believing. So it's give and take, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're all entitled to believe and live our life the way we want.
We have our own opinions.
But the problem is, religious people don't like porn. And I can understand why we don't like it, right? It's against the Bible and all this shit, and marriage before sex and whatever. Oh, no, sex before marriage even. But, you know, like, so I totally get that. If that's not your lifestyle, you're totally going to disagree with it.
Yeah.
But don't be malicious and get people banned. You know what I mean? So anyway, Terry had this to say on the matter.
I think it's wrong when people draw you into discussion and don't like what you have to say and then use it to get you shut down. I mean, where's the justice in that? Clearly, Twitter's moderators don't bother looking at things in context, because if they did, they would see that I was the one being abused here.
So there you go. Brief. That's weird, though, isn't it? He must have
Yeah.
been in a rush, wasn't he? Wouldn't you have thought?
Very
That
short
would've- I thought that would have made the episode go over 2 hours just off him saying that, but it was very short and sweet. So thank you, Terry. You can do it. Another thing that's rife at the minute, right? Now I see it with other people, and it's happened to us twice. I've got to mention this: the scams, right? Because this is worrying.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's worrying for us because it's directly about us at the minute. That's if they still are going, I don't know. The word gets out pretty quick. But, you know, people's done it for fake taxi over the years, fake agent, and it's like, how far do we think they're going to get these people, you know what I mean? So the first one that we had was a company on Instagram had set up a profile. I can't remember the name. It was something like Glamour Studios, I don't know, something not related to Dust Films, but the website address was dustfilms.com. And I was thinking, what the fuck, right? So loads of people in business just started telling us. I didn't even know this existed, so people had seen it on Instagram, mentioned it, and so they were sending people to our website. But get this right, I never thought I'd ever say with Davis, they were scamming guys, not girls. I mean, most of the time you know why we scam them, because they think they might get a fuck out of it. I'm not justifying, I'm just saying you can tell what the reason is, you know, but to scam guys, and what they were doing was they were getting guys to do a webcam audition where they were coaching them live on Skype, screen recording it, getting them to like get naked and shit like that, charging them like $400 for the promise of work. I mean, honestly, seriously,
Jesus
anybody who
Christ.
ever gets an email ever in the history of the business, if anyone asks for money, do not fucking fall for it. You shouldn't be paying money up front. If there's no work out there, how can they find you any? You know what I mean? To warrant the money. I was just minding my own business editing one day and my Skype went off and I was like, who the fuck's that? So I just thought, well, I'm not fucking answering it. Because you never know if it's like fucking fans or something. You'd never have a fucking life, would you? So I didn't answer it. And then I just got these angry messages in text format saying, you fucking bastard, pick up your phone, I want my money back. So I just started typing back, what you going on about? And he went, I know who you are and everything, and I want my fucking money back. And he sent us a picture of him, and he was built like a fucking brick shithouse. And at first I didn't twig that it was like someone pretending to be us. I'd been told 3 weeks prior, and then I got this phone call, so I'd forgot about the Instagram account. And I was like, what's that about? And I thought it was just someone picking a production company and trying to say they're going to sue you to see whether you'd give them money. I thought it might have been someone doing that. And then I just said, look mate, I haven't shot you, you know I fucking haven't. So stop fucking lying and go and fucking try and get some other mug, you know what I mean? And then I said, I don't shoot people who even look like you. If you've seen our stuff, it's about the everyday guy sort of thing. I mean, look like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know what I mean?
Muscles on muscles.
That's why I was so hard from behind the keyboard, because he was in Australia. So anyway, I finally talked him down, and he realised that it wasn't me. And I said, right, who have you? Did they say that they worked for Dust Films? And he was like, yes. I was like, for fuck's sake. So anyway, the word got out pretty quick. So that was bad enough. The second one was, what, a month ago?
Not even that.
Yeah,
I think
so
about 3 weeks or something.
I got an email from a model, which I didn't realise I'd contacted, right? Because it was 2 years ago, and she hadn't replied, so I don't chase people.
Yeah.
So I found this out further on in the story. So she just says, I just want to check that this is you, because I've got guys offering £1,000 for an hour's work. And I was like, well, we don't do that. Nobody in the fucking UK industry does that, so I think it's a scam. So I said, can you forward us the emails? So they were linking to our website, to our references, right? Saying they were in Durham, saying it was with the nerd and female partner. And I was like, this is fucking a bit scary, because someone might think that's us. And the email address was paulduskfilms@gmail.com, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't get contacted by dustfilmsxxx@gmail.com, dustfilmsxxscarlet@gmail.com, paul@dustfilms.com, or models@dustfilms.com, it's not us. It's as simple as that. I mean, even you're going to take on a main part, and you might say, I've been talking to a girl who wants to do it, and I'll forward it to you. Or you might say, Paul, what information do you want us to give it, and I'll give you it. But you'll never start booking shoots or fucking run it by me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, fucking hell. So I would list you, but I don't imagine you will be booking shoots for us. You know what I mean? If that ever happens, well, obviously you'll go on a list of accepted emails. And I thought, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, what the hell were they planning? Like, it's fucking scary, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It is bad crap. Like.
But you should have seen the wording of it. It was like, we'll film you for an hour, and you'll be filmed doing this and doing that, and it's going to finish with me coming in you. Well, you don't talk like that on an email, do you? Like,
it's not professional, is it?
Well, I tell people what I need. Like, I'll say you have to either cum swallow, cum in mouth and droop out, or facial cum shot. That's all I say. And they say, oh, the second one. And I say, right, great, well, we can shoot you then. So you've got to tell them what you have to. But the minute you start going, and then what I'll probably do is I'll spend you over and I'll fuck you really hard for a little bit, and then we'll go in reverse cowgirl, and I want you to spit on me bottle. You don't need to go into that. So you can usually tell when someone's like fucking bogus, can't you? You know what I mean? But this guy had like basically pestered her 3 days in a row, and every day she didn't answer back, he was saying, we've only got one slot left, and once £1,000 gone, it's going to go to another girl if you don't want it. And I was thinking, well, that's getting pushy.
Yeah.
So anyway, she forwarded us all the emails from so I could see the type of word, and then she said, oh, he contacted us 2 years ago, this has been in my spam folder, I didn't realise that. So she showed us that, and I went, oh fuck, that's actually me. I says, right, I says, look at the email address, look at the wording, and look how I asked you, are you interested? And we do this, this and this, and is this something you want to do? And that's all I said. And you didn't get back to us, so I didn't pester you. Anyway, I said, look, I know this is a long shot, I says, but I can't remember what you look like, but I must have seen pictures of you to contact you. But I contact people a lot.
Yeah.
So I forget if you don't get back to us. I said, I don't know who you are, what you look like, but if by some small chance you haven't been put off, and you're actually convinced that I am who I say I am, and I don't blame you for not thinking that, get back to us.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm going to have a think about it.
No.
Well, I've never heard from her, but I'm still not going to say, did you have a chance to think about that? Because she'll come back if she wants.
Yeah, exactly.
So getting pushy is not fucking helping anything, is it? You know what I mean? Right, so I just want to mention it's adult, right? Obviously you're listening to us on the site. So in case you haven't had a look around, right? It's your one-stop shop for the adult industry. So it's networking, events, news, interviews, podcasts. It's even got a message forum. You can cam, you can sell clips, you can phone, text or chat from your profile. So basically itsadult.com is the directory for the adult business. So why don't you sign up today, because it's free. I mean, come on, you know what I mean? And it'll get you work, and it doesn't matter what you do. You can be a model, a producer, an editor, a makeup artist. You can have studios for hire, anything. It's all on there. But don't think for 1 minute it's just about the porn industry. If you're just a glamour model, if you're just a topless model, I would still say that was classed as adult because it includes nakedness. A lot of people would say no, that's glamour. But the point is we called it itsadult.com because a big part of the business that we represent, who are behind the site, are in the adult industry, so that's what we know best. But I hope anybody who doesn't do anything that strong looks at it and gets put off, because there's still a place for you on there as a lower level model, you know what I mean? You don't have to do any porn or anything.
Like, a good thing for, like, specifically as all male performers, when you were going on about how people can get scammed really easily, when I was first starting out in the industry, I was like looking, where can I get like some shoots? Like, how do you start out in the adult industry?
I steamed in there, like, didn't I?
You did, absolutely. But like, I had definitely seen some adverts where it was all a little bit dodgy. You had to like kind of ring them up, and then they started like asking for money and being like, oh, if you pay like £300, we'll get you some shoots. And to someone like me, like, I could easily say that was a scam, so I didn't go through with anything like that. But some people might be like, oh shit, like, I'll try this to try and actually get in the industry. So, I mean, what I did, I found It's Adult just by like kind of looking if there was anything on the internet where I could sign up to maybe like find
can you
producers
remember
and stuff like that.
This would really help us with the site, and I'm going to put you on the spot. You probably can't even remember, I don't expect you to, but just on the off chance.
Yeah.
Can you remember what you searched for? Because I know other sites that should have come up instead of ours, because ours is relatively new. And it was even newer when you...
When I was searching, like, I think I tried the usual thing, like male stud looking for work, that kind of thing. But I think it was when I started searching for like UK-based like adult jobs. It was something along those lines. It's Adult, like, it might not have been the top thing, but it certainly came up when I searched. And it was there that I like clicked onto it, and it would let you like create your own profile. So I thought, oh well, I'll do this because then I can interact with other people who are looking to
like-minded.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Right, I must admit I've got a confession to make, right? I think I've told you this before, but I'm going to confess this, right? I sort of abused my power as a moderator, right? Because
just a little bit.
his profile was fucking ready to go, and I didn't make it live until I spoke to him first, because I just liked the look of him, and I thought, could this work? Do you know what I mean? And I need to speak to him, I need to find out what he's like, we need to get on. I mean, obviously you don't get on, well, you do go on for one drinking session, your best mates after a fucking pub.
Pretty much.
But you know especially what I mean? Like, exactly, but you have to go, you know, this is a person that I really need to get on with.
Yeah.
And I've had people before come and go rarely, and it just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
Like, not that they've done anything wrong, but you know what I mean? It's like, You know, some people just aren't cut out
Aye.
for it. Especially
Yeah,
for
some people
my
definitely aren't
dialogue
cut out for it.
heavy episodes.
No,
do you know
not
what I
at
mean?
all.
So, you know, it's like you need a fucking translator, don't you, for some
Awesome.
people. Right, it's time for Dick's Tips with Dick Salacious, so let's see what he's got for us in his first ever episode.
Welcome to Dick's Tips from SalaciousCreations.com. I was going to say proudly sponsored by Selena Secret, but he really does know his shit. You'll see.
Right, so here's the first episode of Dick's Tips with Dick Salacious. So, I know who you are, Dick, but what are you and what do you do in the adult industry?
Well, currently at the moment, I'm sort of like the unofficial go-to dog's body guy for when people have tech problems. So some top-heavy tat will say, my webcam's not working. She'll send me a message on Skype. I'll quickly log in. I'll fix a webcam for her. She's happy. I'm happy because I fixed the PC and I go back to bed.
With the rise of technology, that's been your gain, because obviously the adult industry is like big into technology with a digital age, but they're not as technological as they make out to be, as you've recently discovered.
Yeah, what I tend to find is there's a kind of a technology deficit in the UK webcam industry, along with the porn industry as well, where people just aren't getting value for money anymore. I just see absolutely shit equipment being used, and yet they're making out that they got top of the range equipment. Some of the girls that I have helped, obviously, you know, they're quite well-known girls, and I'm not going to obviously mention any names. I don't want to shame anybody, but if they are listening, buy yourself a fucking better computer. You can get a better computer than that on eBay for 250 quid. And that's what people need to start listening to now. It's not about the brand names when it comes to technology. It's more about the parts that exist inside the computer. That's what you're looking for, not the brand names, okay? So as a good example of that is recently on Twitter, I saw a girl posting a picture having a problem with her laptop. Now, she works on Adult Work as an example. I'm not picking on you, Adult Work, if any bastard there's listening. However, improve your API for the rest of us. So, but no, basically what was going on is she was having a problem getting connected to the site, and she posted a picture of her encoder interface. Now, for any girls who don't know what an encoder is, it's how you connect your webcam up to a webcam site and your chat room appears, that type of thing. I won't go into too much detail. The very first thing I noticed was her webcam wasn't even on, it's not connected to anything, and it's using 65% of this computer's resources, not doing anything.
Oh, so there was nearly smoke coming out of it, you mean?
Actually, it must have sounded like a jumbo jet when she turned that fucker on, right?
So what, are you trying to say it was thermothrottling being idle?
It wasn't doing anything, and yet that encoder had taken that laptop up to 65% of all of her resources. It's an indicator that somebody needs to make an investment in themselves. Technology's come down in price now. Obviously, everybody knows Intel, but do you know about AMD? For example, a couple of PCs I have built. An Australian cam girl. I've recently built her one. Hi, if you're listening. Nah, she's lovely, she is. But no, as an example, so she's got a 2700X, which is an AMD processor. That cost £269 in our money. The equivalent Intel CPU is over 700 quid for the same performance. So she's getting bang for buck, and she can stream on her websites for only 1% of her total resources. Now you compare a girl using 65% versus a girl using 1%. This is where the girls in the UK need to stop getting out of the habit of buying a laptop and actually asking people that are in the know for some advice on what to buy.
Yeah, but do you think they've just guessed because they're not very technical, or do you think they've been given the wrong advice?
They're being given the wrong advice because it's quick and easy advice. It's not getting the girls to the best of their abilities. I'm not being funny. We're living in an age now where a little 15-year-old kid in his bedroom can produce 4K CGI movies, you know. The fact that the webcam industry in the UK is so far behind the USA market, these girls have made that sort of investment, you see. If you saw like a studio that a USA cam girl has, she's a lighting engineer, she's a sound engineer, she's a camera engineer, she's a colorist, she's an editor. She is everything that a porn company is. The only difference is she's not doing porn. However, in the UK, every girl seems to be dependent on advice being given to them from the old school, people who wouldn't necessarily be up to date on the tech. But the main problem with that is the guys are going to want that sort of quality. They see it on YouTube. Why shouldn't they expect that from you? I mean, if I'm watching a top heavy tack get a tits out on camera for £5 a minute, right? I want a good fucking picture. I want to be able to put that up on my fucking 50-inch screen, like, you know? Otherwise, you're not really fucking giving value for money, and you're not moving with the times and progressing yourself as a brand. Webcam girls and porn stars are two exceptionally different things. Like, you know, a porn star can show up, they can obviously have a bit of input in the shoot, but a webcam girl, she's got to do everything herself. Like, so, yeah, invest in yourself, and it'll bring the UK forward. And if as soon as we start offering better value for money, maybe people will start spending on you again. Because at the moment, the prices I'm seeing are so cheap just because of the summer slowdown. You drop your prices to those sort of levels, you're never going to recover because they know you can go cheaper.
All right, so that makes a lot of sense. I mean, the way you make out, that's actually quite scary, the difference between the UK webcam industry and the US.
Go to a USA girl, right? I'll have a razor sharp, crystal clear picture. I'll have full 2.1 sound to speak to her in, you know? You know, she'll zoom all the way in so I can see every little fucking thing that I want to fucking see in a macro fucking shot because her webcam can fucking do it. You know, girls at the moment in the USA, they might be stuck on 720p. The whole world's stuck on streaming in 720p. But most of the UK sites, they can't do 720p because 720p is the sweet spot. That might sound confusing to a lot of you, but 720p is the balance between being able to stream a good quality stream, being able to be put up on a big 50-inch television, and also it's not going to kill your internet. So it's accessible and it doesn't murder your audience. So I could log in right now on my mobile phone. I can enjoy watching you perform on webcam for me, and that's it. It's as simple as that. Whereas most of the USA girls have already upgraded to 4K Biro Logitech cams. So they're actually running a 720p stream using a 2K input. So they've got razor sharp, obviously, feeds, but they're also using about 4 meg upload on their internet connections. Whereas at the moment, the maximum girls are using in the UK, well, from what I saw on Twitter the other day, was 600 kilobytes.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Fucking paid to watch a fucking, like, a blocky fucking screen from 1999, am I?
Do you reckon these girls, if they webcamming on that type of quality, then are they lying about how well they're doing just to try and get views in, because no one would pay for that?
Fucking cheap, even fucking homeless people can afford a fucking show with them. Fucking hell. I mean, Christ, we're similar ages, aren't we?
Yeah.
You're staying up late on a Friday night and you get all those fucking phone sex adverts and it used to be £1.50 a minute.
Yep.
These girls are fucking cheaper than that, and I can fucking make them do what the fuck I want.
Bloody hell, yeah. I see what you mean when you put it in perspective like that. It's down to the underselling themselves, both in technology and prices per minute, aren't they?
Yeah, the prices per minute is because they got shit, but it's dragged all the girls with the high quality stuff down to compete at those fucking prices, and then, you know, it's causing fucking issues. But if you think about it, back in the 90s, 0898 numbers, wasn't it, if I fucking remember? Not that I ever called one, of course, like. Yeah, fucking £500 fucking phone bill. Sorry, man.
I'll tell you what, one of my mates once did that. He didn't accidentally. He got his dad's credit card and he rang a fucking phone sex line up, and he got a fucking hefty bill, like. And I don't think he ever found out it was his son. He just totally didn't think it would be. And I think he got onto the fraud squad and everything, and I think they refunded him, so I don't know if they knew how close in the house it actually came.
That was a posh fucking one if you used a credit card, right? Because back in the day, it used to all be on your fucking phone bill, so your parents didn't find out for another month, like. It's like a funny story, because I remember when I first got the fucking internet when I was about fucking 16, right? And, like, obviously you start Googling, cause, like, it was all advertised on porn to me. It was in a motorbike mag about how to access porn on the internet, so I used that as a guide. This is when I got my first fucking computer, like. So I found a site called KGB Girls. It was fucking Russian girls live on fucking cam, innit? This is back in the 56k days. And I was only fucking 16 at the fucking time, like. And I didn't realise, because I was paying a flat rate internet fee, I didn't actually realise, right, that I downloaded a dialer to access their network. So what was happening is I was spending fucking £2 a fucking minute thinking, oh, this is fucking great. I've had a bad day at work, right? This girl can shove that fucking dildo up her ass, and I'll get her to pull it out and lick it fucking clean. Because no matter how bad my day is, hers is about to get fucking worse. But even back then, the girls were getting £2 a fucking minute, and you got girls on fucking adult work. I mean, I saw a post last night, 69 fucking pence. Big fucking fake tits, fucking, lovely curvy fucking waist on her. She she looks like she really spends some fucking money on herself. She's 69 fucking p a minute. There's something fucking wrong there. If I want to speak dirty to a middle-aged fucking woman with fucking throat cancer, right, that's going to cost me £1.50 a fucking minute. But if I want to see a live fucking sex show with a really nice-looking girl, that's 69 fucking p.
Yeah, so it's a bit worrying though, the fact that either did we know we're doing this wrong, or what? Because
I tend to find there's slumps because obviously you know who my wife is. So we record the days, the times, how much they spent, how many shows there were, and we dial it in. My wife doesn't work as hard as people think she fucking works, So we've taken, obviously my background's in analytics, from when I've done other podcasts about the GDPR and possible futures for the industry with age verification coming in.
Oh yeah, that's on the Naked Truth podcast, also on itsadult.com.
Check out It's Adult, because that's a site that we all need to start using, because a lot of effort's been put into that site. It's not a copy-paste template that's gone in there. That's a fucking work that's gone into that fucker. And we all need to, as an industry, need to start fucking using that site as well. Because again, we're relying on old-fashioned, safe, that's viewed safe for us. So, yeah, you need to start embracing the forward movement. Otherwise, you're always going to be stuck earning these fucking low rates off people. Because I've heard people talking about the fact that time wasting and the rates have gone down and all this sort of stuff. And then I hear things about webcam girls are ideal recruits for the porn industry. Well, here's one thing that the porn industry would have to account for with that. This is a girl who's used to high-end equipment, some of them earn $14 a minute. Is somebody really going to come and film for you as a content chef if they're earning $14 a minute for just getting out of bed and sitting in front of a camera flashing their gash? Basically, some of these girls earn $14 a minute. Okay, the site may take their cut, but are they really going to do a content share if they're earning $14 a minute for getting out of bed and flashing their gash?
Yeah, but the thing is, the way you're talking, because they've got such high-end stuff, they'll do a content share if it's going to be high-end and shot with high-end equipment, and they'll know as soon as they walk through a door whether they need to turn around and go back home or not, because they're used to seeing high-quality shit. So anyone with a fucking iPhone filming in port rate, they're just going to fuck off, aren't they?
I see nothing wrong with filming with an iPhone. I think, fucking hell, cameras on the phones have come along so fucking much now, innit? Shit. I dread to fucking think how far they're going to be in another 5 years, because some of them, they're as good as DSLRs 10 years ago. But, yeah, I think having the right equipment as a studio is going to be very important for people going forward. Because if you want to tempt the girls who are high earners into your studios, they turn up and you haven't even got a fucking set of lights, of course they're going to fucking walk out.
Well, Rich, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and a very, very insightful intake into the technology side of the business. So have you got anything that you want to say first to sign off?
Stay in school, don't do drugs, and tell your parents you love them every now and then, because they're the only fucking slaves you'll ever have.
Yo, what's up? Baby, let's go!
Hey guys, I'm Paul Taylor, your everyday nerd. I'm here to tell you about my reality show. I like reading comic books, hanging out with mates, and going to the local pub, but I chat to girls and convince them to get naked and do casting videos for a job that doesn't exist. My camera lady Scarlett Grey just goes along with it to get paid. So go to nerdpervert.com and watch all 8 seasons now. Nerdpervert.com, your very own Nerdflix. There you go. Not bad, not bad. See, really I remember him, he taught me that before, when we were talking just before we even decided to bring this back, that there was a documentary, again, mentioning no names, of a model who said she was making $100 grand a year in this documentary, being a webcam model. and as dry as Dick is now, you've heard him. Basically said like it looked like something from fucking Fisher Price, like from fucking Toys R Us. Like it was a luminous blue, and he reckons it'll have been a dual core, possibly a mobile processor, not
Jesus.
the full size processors in laptops now, but they never used to be. And he basically said like their CPU will have probably been 33% on idle. I mean that's thermal throttling, you haven't pressed the button yet.
Yeah.
So why, and this is what he was getting at there, why aren't people investing in themselves? At the end of the day, if you really want to make a go of being a model or a webcam model or anything like that, you've got to invest in yourself. Otherwise, do you really truly believe that you can do it? You need to understand technology a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Because how can you provide a good crystal clear webcam service if you fucking, I mean some laptops have got 480 fucking resolution webcams. What's that going to look like?
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
But why have they only got 720p cameras in the laptops when you can get a 4K one in an iPhone or in a fucking mobile phone?
Yeah.
On Android, for instance. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Actually,
stick
I'm lying.
with
It's
me.
1080 this, but but I didn't get the top model though. P20 Pro's got it.
No, you did not.
So so I don't understand that. If you can put it into a lens that small, why can't you do that on there?
Yeah, but then again, how expensive is that compared to? Well,
this is worth £250, James.
is that it?
Yeah, that's fucking powerful for it.
Mine's like 1,250.
Yeah, please explain why you got the new one when your fucking other one's only a year old. What was wrong with that?
It wasn't big enough.
What do you mean?
Well, the screen was bigger on the iPhone XS Max.
Give us a look. Where's it at? I haven't
Yeah.
even seen this piece of fucking.
I'll tell you
shit
what.
yet.
It's got Dolby Vision and everything. Porn looks fucking stunning on that screen.
I'll tell you what porn looks
Had your
stunning on.
pri-
The one down there, mate.
Oh
that you
yeah,
haven't fucking seen yet.
4K
I was going
TVs.
to say, he has his priorities right, trying out porn first of all. when he
No,
goes.
you've got to. That's how you know. If you can't see the shaving rash, then you know
Yeah,
that's
no.
not higher pixels.
Bloody hell.
I see that looks the same. to
I'm
me.
still waiting for Ned Pervert to go full 4K release. That's what I'm waiting for.
To be honest with you, I've been getting bugged about that
Have you?
from lots of dollars because I've been shooting in 4K for
Yeah.
4 years, and they're like, look, when you go in the members area,
Uh-huh.
you've got HD at the highest quality, 720, and then it drops down to 480 and 360 based on the device that people are watching
Yeah.
on.
Aye.
So obviously no one's going to want 380, but on a phone you don't want to watch HD because you know.
I do.
But the thing is, if you watch 360,
He wants to watch it in 4K.
if I watch a 360 video on there,
Yeah.
that would look shit,
It would. Yeah.
but it won't on a phone. So
well,
you
it
know
will,
what I mean?
but just less.
Well, yeah, but you're a pixel bitch, though, aren't you?
I am a pixel bitch. Yeah.
But you know what I mean. So the point is, they now know that they could offer a 4K button.
Yeah.
Because when you're streaming it, watching it live on the site, you can click what resolution you want, and there'll be a 4K button there. Now the thing is, you know, we the #1 site already, and a lot of dollars cash program and that. That's going to propel you further. The only thing is, it's a bastard upload. No,
Well, that's
I've got a Facebook
because you
friends
live in the
request,
sticks,
that's what it
man.
says. Accepted. It's you know who that is. Keep pressing it to do a boy girl. Can you remember Sophia? Remember her?
Oh, yes.
She's got a fucking cracking body on her for her age. Remember when I kept going up there and character going, me and you, boy girl, I know you only do solo, but you want to be a nerd, don't you? Of course I do, I say. Don't fucking tease us. So welcome to my Facebook. I won't say her first name because that's giving her identity away. So let's go into our interview with Steve Chamberlain. Right now, if you don't, you might have heard that name, but you've probably heard of his persona that he's done over recent years called Fat Man Fuck. So you know he's not a size 8 or anything, but he's a very talented producer. He's been around for a long time. Me and you've met up with him for Kerry and Milton Keynes. Do you remember that? And he's always been fair, and he's always sent girls to us because he rates the way we do things. Like, it's nice if you know you can send a girl and they're going to be in good hands, and he always says he knows that with us, as he does with a few others. So listen to this.
Baby, let's go.
Right, Steve Chamberlain, thanks very much for talking to the UK Porn Podcast.
No problem. Pleased to be here.
So what I like to do is I always like to ask people just to go right back at the beginning and ask people what attracted them about the adult industry. Why did you get into it?
When did you get into it? And just go from there, basically, because it's always an interesting answer.
Yeah, for sure. I was working in, I guess, what people would deem as a normal job back in 2001, going along quite nicely, not a care in the world, thinking everything was rosy. I was in sales and marketing, making a lot of money, and out of the blue, got made redundant. The company got put into bankruptcy. I got about I think it was just under £9,000 for my redundancy money. I was how old at the time? 33. God, it seems like years ago. I decided that I didn't want to work for anyone else ever again. That was, I think, my first big decision. And then my second decision was to decide what I was going to embark on myself with, as I say, quite limited fun with the redundancy money. And I sat down with my mum, my dad, and my sisters. I've got three sisters, and told them all, broke the bombshell, that I decided that I wanted to get into photography, specifically glamour, but more so adult end stuff. I wanted them to know, I wanted them to, approve, if you like, and give me their backing, which I'm pleased to say they always have. In fact, my sister bought me my very first ever camera that I shot our original content with back in 2001. I had a very close friend who was also looking to get into something else, and he was quite technical. And the deal that we originally come to, the partnership, if you like, was I would basically shoot and fund shooting the content, and he would then build the websites and sort of like monetize the content. I always remember my very first shoot in 2001 was a three-girl, hardcore, lesbian, absolute fucking mad, crazy fuckfest down in Essex. And I remember feeling like I was way out of my depth. As I say, I had this new camera. I've got these three girls going absolutely ballistic at each other. And, I sort of muddled through it. One of the girls sort of said to me at the end, how long had I been shooting? And I said, well, about 2 hours. And she couldn't believe it. So I kind of took that as a big compliment. From there, in 2001, we launched, as I say, our first website, which was a website called Totty Inc., which doesn't even exist anymore.
So what year was that, Steve?
That would have been 2001, the year that I started. As I say, we shot a lot of hard solo and hard girl stuff.
So did you find, sorry, just like starting out, did you find that a lot of the stuff was unusable at first? Because I found the first year was a learning curve. I mean, I've just sold them on shitty clip platforms now, but I would never dare release it as like quality porn because, like you say, you just find your feet with your equipment and your camera and stuff, aren't you?
Well, the funny thing, and I know some of the things we'll certainly end up chatting about today is going to be the massive change, or changes, plural for sure, that have gone on in the industry.
Still happening.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a different sort of like playground than it was back then. But it's quite interesting. I remember it was obviously a digital camera that we shot with, and I remember looking at some of the content literally on the drive back to Milton Keynes, which is where we're based, and flicking through some of the pictures and having a discussion at the time with my business partner, who was the guy that I partnered with originally then. And we were talking about the debate whether it was quantity or quality that we was looking for. I think back then, in 2001, amateur looking stuff was a lot more accepted, almost desired by a lot of people. They didn't want the high-end fancy stuff, or it just didn't exist. I don't know, even though I deem myself as a photographer and video guy, I don't know when HD come in, and certainly I know 4K is only a recent sort of like development. But back in 2001, everything I was seeing out there was quite amateur anyway. I felt in my head that the content was great because I'm quite egotistical like that, and I'd taken it and it was hot girls and they were doing naughty things. So in my head I felt like it was really good content. But like you said, looking back on it and how my work's developed, I still don't think of myself as a top professional, and it still gets me when I have to deal with white balance and lighting. But I think without doubt my photography work and my video work has got better, and I look back at that content and yeah, I cringe. You know, the lighting was definitely not right. We didn't use studio lighting like we do now, and there's shadows and the white balance is off key and all kinds of problems with framing and all stuff that you learn with time and experience. Like yourself, as you said, I would never use that content now to go into anything in the way of like a website or anything, but whether we would ever use anything even on a clip site, I'm not even sure about that.
2001 things were still good web-based things anyway back then. But obviously it didn't last long when you think about it, because once the recession hit in 2007, anyone who got like a website roundabout then, it wasn't as hard as it is now, but it was starting to become hard, wasn't it?
There are some sad facts when you look at websites and how the history of them goes. I always remember being out. I've been very fortunate in what I do. I never really think of it as work. You know, shooting hot girls, doing naughty things is obviously a great profession to have. I remember going out to America as part of work. I went to an exhibition in Las Vegas, and whilst I was there, I was invited to Arizona to meet a guy who'd started even before us, a guy called Steve Lightspeed, quite a legend in the game and run some pretty big revenue websites. And I think he started around 97, 98.
The internet in the States took off a lot quicker than it did over here, though, didn't it? They already had adult websites before we even had dial-up, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, but again, there wasn't that many sites out there, and I think that is the thing. You know, when the likes of Steve Lightspeed started up, there weren't much in the way of competition. There was no tube sites. There were no file sharing sites. He told me that he used to make about 800 sales a day. Now, I don't know if that's urban legend. I mean, for all of the sites that I've ever run, if I put them all together over the 16 years, 17 years, I don't think if I added all of the sites together that combined, any of them would have ever made anywhere remotely near that number. I mean, 800 sales a day, even if that was quite a cheap membership. I think he was selling his membership, you know, back in 98, probably $12, $13. But if you're doing that 800 times in a day, you know, that's obviously massive. I'm trying to think the name of his big model, but I'm sure the listeners, I was going to say readers, and I'm sure the listeners will remember Steve Lightspeed and the network that he ran. But that was massive. And you know, I remember where we started off. I remember how we grew in the early days. And I think the thing that if I was to try and clarify it as simply as possible, we was earning more money in 2001 with 2 websites than we are earning in 2017. I know we're now into 2018, but where we had over 50 websites live and clip sites in addition to that, and we are earning less money now what we was earning in 2001 with 2 websites. And again, just another thing to highlight it, I went back over my CC bill, which was the main company that I was billing with for partnership deals with bigger companies. I literally run yearly reports backwards, and I wanted to cry because every year I went back, we'd been earning more money. And you look at that and you think, oh my God, you know, for a business that you're trying to develop and you know, and build and make more money, it makes for very sad reading. You know, it would almost pose the question, why are you still doing it if that is the case? It's become harder with the amount of sites that are out there, with the tube sites, with the file sharing sites. Without getting too political, I think I can certainly trace it back in my head to, like funny enough, like you say, 2007. I think that was also around the time that certain big companies got involved in the industry, and I don't think they were necessarily beneficial for the industry. They were very beneficial for themselves, but I do think that there's a kind of monopoly almost of the porn industry almost being taken over.
Well, if you don't want to name names, I will, because I'm not bothered. If you take MindGeek, for instance, right, who obviously started Pornhub and all that, well, bought it off JT, who does the fake taxi stuff. They bought his algorithm. They were actually at a UCAP meeting, right, that I was at. Two representatives from MindGeek proposing, that we now know because it's all over the news, but they were proposing it in the early stages to help the government with the age verification thing that's coming in. People it was very hostile, to say the least, because a lot of people feel that a company like that, even if it wasn't intentional, sort of helped business go downhill because of their algorithm for tube sites and stuff. You know, it's like, you know, torrent software isn't illegal. It's what you file share on it that's illegal. And it's the same with like tube platforms. You know, if somebody downloads a video from your website and then decides to file share it, someone's going to download it for nothing. And if you've got a platform or you're responsible for a platform as a business that allows users to do that, even though we couldn't see it happening at the time, you can see where it's gone wrong now.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying whether they knew they were doing it. They most definitely did know they were doing that. It didn't start with MindGeek. It started with a company for me called Media Revenue, and I don't really have my fingers in deep enough to know exactly what's what out there. For all I know, Media Revenue are part of or some of what makes up MindGeek. It could be a completely, totally different entity. But for me, Media Revenue started it, I think it was around 2007-ish time they reared their head, and then they went and MindGeek popped up a couple of months later. So I think there is some sort of an association there. Again, I'm always knocking conspiracy theorists, but I have no doubt that Media Revenue and MindGeek and that very much have an objective, and they're doing a good job of it, and that's taking over and totally crushing the porn industry. The amount of companies that I know have gone under is insane. They own everything, MindGeek, that is worth owning. Every tube site, every network, every website. But I guess, again, people would argue, well, that's business. You know, they are...
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's anything personal towards any of us on behalf of MindGeek. They are just business-orientated, aggressive business-orientated, but sometimes people like that are the most successful. If you're not bothered about being liked, then go ahead and knock yourself out. You've got to see why people are angry in that room. The fact that some of their platforms are responsible for the demise of the porn industry worldwide, especially the piracy side of it. And then they decide, we're going to propose to the UK government with this age verification thing that we're going to offer a piece of software that'll allow you to age verify your customers. Now, I'm not against age verification as such, because obviously, considering I'm a pornographer, I'm the biggest pro going. It's for adults and not children. I totally agree with that. Correct. But the government never engage with us. The government never knows anything about the industry, and they make these decisions without engaging with us and trying to sort of make it mutual beneficial, protect children, but also not kill businesses.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say there, Paul, and again, I don't know was on controversial, but when I was a boy, a child, if you like, of the age, well, I might shock you here, at the age of 9, I got my first porno mag. I certainly looked at naked pictures and, like, you know, the sort of top shelf magazines at a young age. Certainly in my teens, I would always have the porno under the bed. Now, and I don't think that's rare. I also don't think it turned me into a guy that later on in his life become a pornographer. It's not like it scarred me in any way, because I just think it's commonplace for young lads to want to look at, you know, maybe not graphical stuff and what have you, but I think my point is if a young teen male wants to look at something adult, he will find a way. And so for me, the IDH thing, or whatever it is that MindGeek are calling it, is just yet another way to strengthen their grip on the porn industry and make more money from doing that. I don't think they're on a crusade to protect children from porn. I think sometimes the world we live in gets a little bit too politically correct with things. So for me, it's a bit of overkill.
Well, I think MindGeek's doing it to protect their own business, not obviously protect children, as you say. Because when you think about it, any site that doesn't age verify is going to be blocked by all the major internet service providers. So you think about it, that's even the free sites that they own, like Pornhub and YouPorn and all that.
Yeah.
So if you can't even view the free porn on those sites without age verifying, they're making a fortune out of those sites. They're gonna want to, and they're the only company who can like sort of make it look like they're helping when really they'd be just trying to protect their own company and their assets, aren't they? So
as I say, get a bigger grip on the industry, protect their own interests, and make money. So, and again, like I said, it's only business. Maybe people will view it like that, and you would applaud them for seeing the opportunity and being very proactive in making sure they were the company that now are gonna, as it looks, govern that.
I mean, you've got to respect them as well in a way that, like, I mean, what type of algorithm must they have when? I mean, they bought some of it off JT, who owns Really Useful, who do all the fake sites. They bought them off him.
Yeah.
And his algorithm early on, when he owned YouPorn, I think it was, his algorithm studied the behaviour of surfers, so that when he was making Fake Taxi or he was contemplating a new fake site, he already knew the audience was there before he even shot one scene. Now
okay.
that's a unique way and a secret that he'll probably never give up, and certainly MindGeek won't. But you think about it, me, you, every producer at our level who you know, and even the bigger companies, when they have an idea for a niche, either a DVD or a movie or a website or whatever, you always just think this is a good idea, I hope it finds an audience. You don't know that it has before you even start.
No.
So what they've got, if they can do that, must be phenomenal. I mean, they must have some shit hot coders working for them.
Yeah, well, again, I guess when you've got the kind of money, when they first popped up on the scene, I forget the number that was being bandied around, that they were investing into the industry to buy all the programs, you know, and websites and tube sites up. But it was millions. In my head, I got 56 million. I don't know where that's come from, but there was a number being thrown around when they first appeared, and people were talking they're going to buy and they have, and it makes it hard. And again, it comes back to that question: why am I still doing what I'm doing? And you know, is there a place for somebody tomorrow to wake up and say, oh, I know what I want to do for the rest, you know, of my working life. I want to start up in porn and do websites. It's got to be something pretty special, and even then you're probably flogging a dead horse. You know, there is still people out there that will join a website. You know, everyone keeps saying to me, surely no one joins your pay site, surely everyone just gets porn free. Luckily, there are people out there that, I guess they buy into the brand, they buy into the content, they buy into the person. Whatever combination of things it is that makes them get their credit card out and still join a website instead of watching the stuff free on these tube sites and these file sharing sites. But in all honesty, I don't think anyone's going to ever make the kind of money that used to be made back in the day.
I think some people will, but it'll be rare. Where it was commonplace for everybody or most people to do it. It'll be literally like, I bet there's only 3 or 4 in the UK, if that.
I guess it depends what you deem as a successful website.
Well, exactly. I suppose we've all got a goal in mind, and if you've reached that and then you realise that back in the day someone was making 10 times as much, then is it a success? For today's standards, yes. For back in the day, no. So
yeah, and again, the different types of sites. We traditionally ran solo model sites. We didn't really do too much in the way of multi-models, and we didn't do anything in the way of niche. We kind of had various periods where we tried things that we'd done a lot of very glamoury stuff, and that worked in some ways and not in others, and progressively got less. So we then went into we'd kind of moved away from porn in the early days, and as I say, been shooting more glamour and stuff. Then we kind of moved away from glamour again, and we had 5 new girls appear on the scene, literally like the waiting for a bus and then 5 come along mentality. And I'll tell you who those 5 girls were. We had Natalia Forrest come along. We had Kate Harrington.
Ooh, lovely Kate.
Yeah, I mean, and that, in my mind, if there was a like a what they call it, like with the like legends, she would be up there in the Hall of Fame, for the UK. But we had we had Sasha Kane, another girl. Not. I mean, these are not mega names. We had a girl called Jessica Q pop up, little blonde thing. And a girl called Lacey Little, who's up in your neck of the woods. I think they might have had different names as well.
I think we shot one of her first scenes, I think.
Yeah, but we literally had done nothing for a couple of years. We were running the glamoury sort of stuff, and then all of a sudden we decided we wanted to try some more adult end stuff again. And those 5 girls, and I'm not joking, come along in the space of about 2 months. We had these 5 new girls that we were shooting content for and doing websites for, and it just changes. As I say, we kind of moved. Then we did big boob sites with big natural boob girls, and now again we've kind of you try and experiment. If things are stagnating with what you've got, you kind of try and develop other ideas. And our big thing at the moment is shooting now more niche stuff. But again, I still talk to loads of people that I've known over the years, and again, I'll give you a prime example, or 2 prime examples. I was on a particular message board, and I made an association. I'm not going to say a friendship. I made an association with a guy who calls himself Spunky, who runs Kate's Playground, which was a non-nude solo model site.
Right.
And I also made an association with a guy called Phil Flash, who ran another non-nude solo model site called Tiffany Teen. Now, those 2 sites, and he had, both those webmasters had 50-50 deals with their models. Now, they hated, regretted the fact that they'd done 50-50 deals. They wished that they'd gone down the road of just paying them a flat rate. Because at their height, those websites were doing $40,000 a month.
How long ago was this?
I would say I joined that particular message board around 2003, 2004, somewhere around that mark. And both those sites went live at a similar time. Matt, who's the guy that he calls himself Spunky, he was a barman in a bar in Canada. There was a new waitress I won't say her real name, but he approached her with a view to let's do a website together, and it was non-nude, very teasy, lots of sort of like implied and holding, and just about covering. And again, if you see his original content, it was shot in his apartment with a backdrop of a white sheet. He would hang a white sheet on the wall, and she would just model in front of it, non-nude. And Phil, who was a postman, approached a local girl and got her to model, and that was Tiffany, who became Tiffany Teen. And as I say, both those sites in their heyday was making $40,000 a month. Now, again, I can only tell you that over 17 years of all the websites I've ever run, must be in excess of 100 websites, I can actually tell you for a fact I've not had a website make 10% of what they were turning over a month each. So, like, I've never had a website get up to the starry heights. If I had a website that was doing $4,000 a month, I would have been a happy man. I would have been content. And I guess that's the thing. You say that there might be two or three in the UK. I guess it depends what kind of site it is. I think there might be some niche sites out there doing some decent money. If anyone asks me, I want to get into doing pay sites, I would say, well, you've got to make it niche. I think the niche market, and we probably know there's some crazy stuff up in the niche market, feet, smoking, they're probably two of the not so crazy ones. But the reason why niche works, why niche will always work, is the fans of that particular niche will always pay if the quality of the content is very much the niche and good quality, and they know they can get it in that website. They will be very loyal. Unlike, I don't know how it is for yourself, but again, for ours, the retention of members for us has always been very small. The rebuilds has been very small. So for me, there is opportunities still. I'm still in it because I still make enough money to afford me a decent lifestyle. It's not making me rich. I don't have a big fancy car or a big fancy house, but it's something I enjoy. It's always fun, and it affords me a lifestyle, as I say, that I enjoy.
It's weird though, because I was saying this to another producer the other day, that a lot of things that's against us, apart from the big corporation companies like MindGeek, is obviously the digital age screwed us over, even if we didn't realise at the time it was going to. And by that I mean, obviously, everything went from DVD to web, and then obviously it stayed on the web, and it's still on the web, but obviously it's transformed into free, and clip platforms is where I usually tell models, if they work with us, especially first time girls, I always say that there's probably never going to be enough work again, so don't quit your day job. And shooting your own content, as much as at the beginning when models started doing it, I was like, a model isn't a producer, and putting a video up from your iPhone of you playing with your pussy isn't making you a producer. And I'm not saying that because I feel threatened by it or anything, I mean, I class myself as a professional-ish anyway, but you've got to admire them for sort of making that gap that was made by the lack of work and the lack of companies who weren't making money, so there's not enough work out there anymore. And they've put themselves on a platform where, some of these girls, especially webcam, they're making the fucking killing. That's almost the new porn, like live, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you've hit a nail quite squarely on the head, and it's kind of my own belief. I posted a thing on one of the modelling sites, which is a generic modelling site that caters for everyone who's shooting fashion, artistic, glamour, the whole shooting match. And I posted on there, and I got told off quite quickly for posting. I posted it as a casting, looking for new girls, and my title for the casting is "Where Have All the Naughty Girls Gone?" Because we've struggled to find new talent for quite some time. I think the talent pool in the UK is quite thin.
I know, but hang on a minute though. I mean, do you not think it depends on what you're looking for? I mean,
yes and no.
Yeah, but I'm always finding new girls now. Half of them you probably wouldn't want to even work with because because you have got a higher sort of threshold for girls. Where in the UK, I shouldn't really say this because I'll probably offend any fucking female UK woman who's listening, but we've always been behind in terms of the level of quality of girls. And I don't just mean looks and body type, I just literally mean the attitude of British girls has always been shit and it's worse than ever now.
Do you know, that is the funny thing where I'm going to, for the first time in this conversation, disagree with you. I have loved, and I know you're not slating them down, but I have loved every girl that I've ever worked with. All of our shoots are crazy funny when we get girls in. We really look after them. And I'm sure you're the same, Paul. We look after them. We have a mad laugh. It's not like a serious... Our sets, when we shoot, it's not like a production company where it's all very professional. You know, you got to do this, you got to do that. You know, all cut, hold on, let's... You know, we just have a crack, basically. We have a laugh. All of the girls, whether I've just been blessed, I don't know how many girls I've worked with in 17 years, from the glamour stuff through to the adult stuff. I can probably think of one or two girls over those 17 years that have been a little bit diva, had an attitude, you know, and we've had problems with. The other 100 odd that I must have worked with in those 17 years have been amazing. And, you know, Eastern European girls, stunning looks, but everyone I speak to tells me bad temperament, only doing it because they need the money, always have an attitude. Again, I've worked with one or two girls, and even those have been a laugh. So again, I guess I've just been lucky.
So are you trying to say you don't have like a lot of letdowns? Because I mean, we're not the only company that has this. It's really fucking bad. But again, they don't have to leave the fucking bedroom anymore if they're making their own stuff. Which, like I've said, I do admire them for doing it. And some girls have really invested in themselves. They've getting decent camera equipment. They've learned basic lighting, and some of the stuff isn't like really crap shot stuff. It's actually quite good.
No, for sure. We've had letdowns. I would deem that as saying different. I was talking about the attitude.
Oh no! I mean the attitude of people who think it's important to turn up for a shoot. No, every girl we've worked with, we still have friends from girls who we've worked with who don't even work in the business anymore, and they still come and stop over with us, and we fucking go out for nights out and everything. So I can't say I've had one really bad shoot, or if I have, I might have been like very rarely on please, she's fucking gone. But I've never let on while she was there, and there was never any arguments that broke out or anything. She doesn't know that I had a headache after she'd gone. So for the sake
I get what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, hang on, nearly knocked me headset off. So, of course we've had no shows. Again, I do feel as though we're blessed in as much as it's never been like a lot or like it's always a letdown when you set everything up and you're ready to shoot and the model doesn't show. But we haven't had a lot of those. But just to finish off on the girls doing it for themselves, which I kind of think could be another title for my post. I think the thing is, I think it is going to be harder for production companies, whether they are like quite low budget like myself or you know even the bigger budgeted companies, to get girls, certainly in the UK, because like you said, for me, if I had a pussy, which unfortunately I haven't, I would be so rich right now. Because I would not go out of my bedroom, I would order fucking takeaway, I would sit on a webcam, I would shoot my own content, and I would make my money. And that's the problem. If I offer a girl £400 to come in for a day, she comes in, she shoots for me, I shoot the content, put it in the content bank, and that's it. She goes home, she's £400 richer, and that content is. Girls have realised the power is with them, and why go and shoot for some guy and earn him money? When I can stay at home, probably earn almost as much on webcam in a day, or shoot content that over time, maybe not immediately, not that day, but over time will earn me way more than the £400 that this guy is going to pay me, and I'll always own that content. And that content is powerful because, as I say, as soon as it's out there and up there and it's earning me money on different revenue streams, click sites and what have you, I'll make money, more money than what I can earn from a straight shoot. I can only hope that there are some girls still out there who enjoy being models and enjoy going to shoots and enjoy being shot for people. But I think it's strangled the already, in my opinion, very thin British talent. It's strangled it even more.
Well, yeah, because if you've got a good-looking girl who you might have been able to offer work and she knows she can make more money on herself, there's one less girl, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously, Steve, you've had like a lot of obviously fun in the business, like, and you continue to, like I do. But there is a lot of things that I personally don't like about the business, and I would say it's getting to the point sometimes where I get up and I think I don't like the business like more than I like it. Some days it depends what's going on.
Yeah.
Now one of the things that I know about you, which you've taught us little bits personally, and I know something recently's happened to you again. You have had a little bit of bother with some models. Now, don't get us wrong, I've had models begging us to take content down and stuff, but because I'm always upfront with them about it, they still try, but they've never getting nasty because they've realised that once I've re-explained it might have been 5 years ago, you signed and give me written permission, and you were told, because I know some girls don't even fucking read the model release forms, that this would be out there forever. But you seem to have like the same type of trouble, but it keeps coming back to bite you on the arse. So do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think this also flicks back to what we was talking about earlier with the girls having more power and maybe realising, what they can do themselves. As we said, that's not a bad thing. All power to them. We will still continue to offer models work on the same premise that we always have. We'll always look after people and treat them how we've prided ourselves on doing from time. But occasionally, there's little things that happen that make you think, like you said, is it really worth it? We try and be the good guys. We try and, everyone has maybe a bit of an idea in their own heads about porn and porn companies and porn directors, and it's all very shady and dark. Well, I can honestly say we've always prided ourselves on how we've worked and treated people. So we experienced it, I think, for the first time, again, around 2008. There was a particular model that we shot back in 2008, and we were trying to shoot this girl. She just sort of popped up on the scene, and we'd arranged a date to shoot her. And a few days before that date rolled round, she was on the phone, crying, telling me she couldn't do the shoot. And I said to her, no problems, just explain to me why, what's happened. And she basically said that she'd arranged to shoot a 3-day shoot with another photographer, a 4-day shoot with another photographer for £1,600. And when she'd told that photographer that she was going to shoot for us and our trashy content brand, the photographer had said, if you shoot for Steve, you can't shoot for me. That in itself shocked me a little bit. I didn't really realise this other photographer had that big a gripe with me. But I said to the girl concerned, I said, look, we'll pay you £1,600. We'll shoot you for 4 days. We don't care if you still shoot with this other guy. But, we'll get you in and we'll shoot you. And I said, what we'll look to do is, with the 4 days worth of content, is we'll create a website, we'll launch a website, and if you want to be involved in the website, we'll give you a percentage from what the website makes. And everything was golden. girl come down, we put her up in a luxury apartment. We actually ended up doing a day and a half because, and a bit stupid and naive on our part at the time, we'd never really done anything like that. She ended up, because it was quite adult end, she'd shot a boy-girl scene, a couple of girl-girl scenes and some solo stuff. By a day and a half, she couldn't shoot anymore. So we paid her all the money. We didn't say, oh well, we'll only pay you, pro rata to what you've done. We paid her all the money, and we said we'll get you back down in a couple of in a week's time, and we'll shoot the other couple of days, which we did. And as I say, we'd said all along, we'd been very upfront with her that we was going to create this website. On the fourth day, but after the last scene, so we wrapped it all up. She goes, oh, by the way, I've decided I don't want to do a website with you. And I remember it so clearly. I actually turned around and I said, well, no, I said, we're doing the website, it's not like if we're going to do the website. I said, we are definitely doing it. It's like if you don't want to be involved, obviously, we keep all the money. And she went away, and after that, if I'm honest, she posted some stuff on Twitter and various other places slamming us, saying that we'd misled her, cheated her, that, we was going to do a website and she didn't, she'd never agreed to that and all of that. And it got so bad that she even turned a joke that I'd made while she was down into an accusation of sexual harassment.
What?
Yeah, okay. So what it was is I had a Dutch guy working with us at the time who was over from Holland doing some of the shoots over the different days. And we had a one-bedroom apartment, and she said to me, oh, this is only a one-bedroom apartment. She said, what's the sleeping arrangement? And being in a little bit of a mischievous mood, I turned round to her all very straight-faced, and I said, well, you and Eric being my Dutch partner, I said, you and Eric are sleeping top to toes in the bedroom. But very quickly said to her, no, I said, I'm only joking, Eric's on the couch and you've got the bedroom, and that's how it was. So she turned that, when all the controversy, if you like, hit, and she's posting on Twitter and elsewhere, she said, oh yeah, this Steve guy tried to get me to sleep with his business partner. Well, as I say, it was just such absolute bollocks. And we took some flack because what inevitably happens is the girls have their fans, and of course the fans will kiss their asses no matter what they say. So we were kind of the bad guys. So that was in 2007. Now, time moved on, and I'll be honest, the model eventually come back to us, apologised, and subsequently, maybe stupid on my part, maybe not, I don't know, we shot her about 3 times after that. Yeah, if I'm talking about the kind of things that me personally, I mean, our company is trashy content. That's what I deem the company name as, and I have just one partner now. The Dutch guy went off and did a mainstream thing on his own. And I'm left now with just one other guy who's in the UK. He originally come on as a financial investor, got involved in the photography side because he got the bug, and he's been with me for about 8 years, I think. It's always me that takes the brunt. I guess, if you like, I'm the face of the company. I'm the one that everyone knows.
That's usually how it goes, sadly, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So consequently, I have all of that bullshit back in 2007, sorry. Then over the years, and again, I like to think I'm quite a strong character. I like to think I'm quite jokey and everything. Over the years from 2007, I mean, these were more recently, I would say, in the last sort of 2-3 years. I had a hate campaign on Facebook that I can tell you was horrific. A guy set up I say a guy, it could have been a girl obviously, set up a 8-page on Facebook making some horrendous accusations about me, my business, basically saying I was a paedophile, took pictures off of my Facebook page and put them on there. My biggest argument with it when it happened was he posted my address where my mum, my dad, and 2 of my sisters live. which, not being funny, if some nutter had seen that and believed it and thought, oh, this guy's a paedophile, I'm going to turn up, I'm going to burn the house down, I'm going to turn up with a gun or whatever, you know, it would have put me and my family in danger. I complained to Facebook about it. It took them 7 days to remove the page. I put up a picture of a nipple. It comes down within about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So just absolute bollocks. I had to get the police to investigate it, which they did. That died after they took it down. About a year later, I had a hate campaign on Twitter. Exactly the same thing. Twitter account set up. Guy making accusations against me. Shooting 15-year-old girls, which may I add I've never done, never would. We pride ourselves in the fact that we have a massive 9-page model release that also adheres to the US 2257. We always get 2 photo IDs, passport, driving license normally. So we do everything. And then you get shit like that where, again, this guy posted my address again, made all these accusations. Again, I had to get the police involved. They investigated it. They got Twitter to take it down. They traced it back to a very small village near Dudley, in like Birmingham way. And the funny thing is at the time, there was a model who'd been working for us who had a male friend who wanted to date this girl, but she didn't like him in that way, wasn't like the friend zone thing. And he lived in this small village. So for me, it was him. But the police said we can't prove that. We can only track the IP back to that general area. We can't trace it back to him. But I, in a roundabout way, dealt with that situation. I let her know that it was him, and I told her that basically Tony, my business partner, and myself, if anything else happened, you know, then we'd deal with it in other ways. Probably shouldn't say that in case the police are listening. But yeah, so that was, you know, things I've experienced in the way of negativity. Models who 1 minute you're a hero and the next minute you're zero. The model that was concerned back in 2007 has left us raving reviews after all of the shoots on modelling pages and the likes, and, you know, said good things. And then as soon as you do something that's slightly against the grain, you know, then there's an issue. And I guess that's where I then fast forward to the current day. And again, I think this really highlights the fact that girls now are doing stuff for themselves, and some of them almost to the degree of begrudging anyone else making money off of their content. So what basically happened, and this again was a girl that we shot 4 years ago. I think it was October 2013 that we started shooting her. She, again, at the time, was a fairly new girl on the scene. We make a point of looking for new talent that's unshot, because I think if you can shoot a lot of content of a girl that you feel's got potential, and you can put it in the can and have that content banked, and then you can launch it ahead of everyone else, you know, you kind of, that's probably the bit that we've been a little bit slow on, actually. We have sat on stuff maybe longer than what we wanted to, and that comes down to money and resources to get the stuff live. But we basically shot this girl October 2013. We shot her, I'm thinking, I haven't got my records to hand, but I think we would have shot her between 4 to 5 times. Again, always when possible, we shoot whole day shoots. And we paid this girl, I would guesstimate, somewhere in the region of $2.5 grand. And that was for mainly solo hard content. She did a bit of anal for us, because that was her thing. Yeah, so it was just like hard solo, and a couple of girl scenes that she shot with a couple of other girls that we worked with. And again, we looked after like a princess. On the day the shoots, there was drink laid on, there was food laid on. After the shoot, she went off and she posted on the forums how great we were, what fun shoot it was, and all of this. And One of the things that we told her, again, just like in 2007, from the off, is what we intend to do is shoot a lot of content of you, and then we're going to launch a website. If you want to be involved in the website, you can have a percentage of sales. All very fair, upfront, good communication, everything. So we didn't think nothing more of it. As I say, we've done 4 or 5 shoots. She's a couple of grand, 2.5 grand, paid. And we start to try and make our money back. So we do a few clip sites. We start off, we're on Adult Work, and we set up a profile on Adult Work. Within about a week, we get messaged, she wants to put something on Adult Work, so can we take our profile down? So we do it straight away. No arguing, no, big fuss. The profile comes down, she gets her own profile on Adult Work. We're on ManyVids, same thing. She says, oh, I want to go on ManyVids. So again, being the decent people that we like to think we are, we actually said to her, well, take over the profile. Rather than set up your own profile, you can take over the profile, edit it, keep your own, keep the content up there even if you want. All of the content that we've shot of you, 36 scenes, I think it was, that we had loaded up onto ManyVids. I said, look, it's earning money, but no, she wanted to strip it down, take all that content off and load her own. But we gave her the profile, so we did everything. And finally, we decide to put a website on a platform out there. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Paul, called Model Centro.
Oh yeah, that's where you can sort of build your own website using their platform, can't you?
Yeah, it's a really good. It's a really good platform. It allows you to do everything from you register. You can, if you've got obviously the domain name yourself, which we did have. We'd bought the domain names that we were intending to use. There was a couple of options we had, and we bought them a while back. We'd already added sites like the fatmanfuck.com site in there. We'd added a few others in there, and we decided that it was time that we started to make back some of that 2.5+ grand investment that we'd made, and we created a website. Basically, the model that we shot was a girl who I felt and still feel, even through all what's gone on, has massive potential in the industry. I mean, she's been in the industry now, as I say, 3-4 years, so she's not a new starlet that's just suddenly appeared. And I know she's had a lot of success shooting with other people, but if I'm honest, and this is only my opinion, which I think even legally I'm entitled to, I don't think she's achieved what she could have, the potential of this girl, and the girl is a model called Chloe Toy. Now again, Chloe, little blonde thing, amazing body on her, only shoots solo, only shoots girl, but she launched her own site, and I think that's where the conflict is. We launched our, and I'm going to plug it, ilovechloetoy.com website on Model Centro, and she already had her site up and running. So she had a major problem with us launching the website. She has issued us with, hopefully I'll get this bit right, what they call a DMCA. But basically, she's issued it to Model Centro. She's not issued it to me as such, but she's issued it to Model Centro, and they're currently investigating because they take their business very seriously. And when they get a DMCA, which basically, on the DMCA, this is where I had to chuckle. She's basically saying that she is the producer and she is the owner of the content that we've shot of her.
But how is she going to prove that?
Well, she can't, and that's
exactly.
why I'm quite happy to say.
Well, can I just say kudos to Model Centino then, because most platforms take it off and then look into it, so at least they look at it neutrally. A lot of sites don't do that. That could have already been down, taking her word for it while they were looking into it, so at least they haven't done that to you.
And I have. I mean, I've spoken to the team and I have said to them, that I'm pleased. The only thing I guess I'm not pleased with is we're sort of The DMCA was issued on the 31st of December, and it's kind of, even though, so it was issued on the 31st, I heard about it on the 1st. On the 1st of January, I sent, even though it was New Year's Day, I sent Model Central the 9-page model release, which, as I say, basically consists of a very standard UK model release and then an 8-page 2257 compliance for the US. And it's airtight. And the reason why I can tell you it's airtight, it was actually given to me by a massive American company who we were shooting for at the time. And they said to us, look, just use our model release form. It's been put together by whatever attorneys I guess they have in America.
Yeah.
And he said, this is absolute. He said, you can do anything with the content. Put it anywhere, edit it, put any text on it, change it, do whatever you like. This content is your content to do what you have. So we're very happy. We have a UK page that's a very standard model release, and then we have this 8-page 2257. So I sent that across to Model Centro. Included in that was free ID pics, basically driving license, passport, and one of her holding both, the good old rabbit ears picture. So I sent them across to Model Centro. Then I contacted the DMCA company that had sent the DMCA order. I don't really get the DMCA thing. Someone was trying to explain it. An American guy was saying that basically anyone can be a DMCA agent and set up a DMCA company. And I honestly believe this company that she's with, I think they're called DMCA 512. It sounds like it's a guy in his bedroom, and he's just issuing DMCA letters for people. He charges $1,000 a year for their basic service. So she's had to sign up to that. So
See, but the thing is, though, Steve, that's usually where people get lazy. So anyone could set something like that up, and it'll probably be quite successful because people will moan about getting things taken down, but they won't actually do it themselves. So I suppose it's a free-for-all in terms of people offering services like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, his service supposedly is that he works 24 hours a day, it's kind of the claim, 24/7, on searching the net for his client's content. And if he finds any pirates or, tubes that shouldn't have it or file sharing sites, he issues DMCA orders. So it's quite an easy business, really. How much effort he does truly put into it, who knows? Good luck to him, blah, blah, blah. But on this occasion, he's knocked on the door of someone who is absolutely above board. So I sent him all of the information as well, and I told him the story. I said, it's basically a disgruntled model. Why is that site? I said, well, I did tell you that we was going to make a website. Like, from day one, you knew. Her comeback was, oh, I thought you was just going to do a fan site and send me the sales to my site. Well, I didn't even know at that time when I told her that she was going to have her own site. Whether that should have been a given or not, I don't know. But I'm just like, well, no, we're a company. I'm not some randy old guy who does a normal job and saves his money up and shoots a hot girl every couple of months, so I can wank off to it. I'm a fucking company. Trashy Content is a company. We shoot content either for other people or ourselves. We do it because we want to make money. And I told her at the time, there'll be a website, Chloe. To be honest, this is the second time with Chloe Toy's flared up. I basically support my mum, my dad, and 2 of my sisters. Again, that's not looking for a halo over the head or a pat on the back or anything like that. That is a plain cold fact. If there's a girl out there at the moment suddenly that pops up on the scene and she sees some of them comments, she probably don't want to shoot with us because she might not believe them, but it's that element of doubt that it throws up. Incidents like we've experienced over the time do harden you a little bit. Does that mean the next girl that comes in will be treated any differently? Nope. We will still roll the carpet out and look after them as much as we've done anyone in the past.
Right, so Steve, I just want to say thank you for talking to the UK Porn Podcast. We're finally getting you, eventually.
No problem.
Like I say, we'll probably keep in touch anyway, like we usually do, so...
Yeah, for sure.
So, and on that note, we'll say goodbye.
Yep, goodbye. It's been a pleasure and I hope it was worth the wait.
So that went on for a while.
Yeah.
But I got him when he was angry because I wanted him to bend.
Yeah.
Because of the shit that he's been getting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, someone threatening your fucking family when you still live at home with your mother and your sister is fucking beyond...
right.
Outrageous.
You can't go around doing that to people, you know.
It's awful.
I mean, I get fucking mad, but I don't fucking threaten to do that to anybody.
No.
You know what I mean? Some people just are mentally unhinged, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then obviously again, you know, models coming back at him years later to say like, I want you to take the content down. And it's like, you know, we do get girls regretted, I'm not going to lie, you know, but they never demand anything, they never threaten to sue us, they never, because they can't say anything because we told them this could happen, and it has, and you still took the money, so it's not our fault. Like, what you're going to do, I mean, seriously, right, I'll say this to anyone thinking about getting into porn, right, if you're desperate for money, and you hope no one's going to find out, which most of the time they don't, it's not worth £300.
No.
To get found out and to ruin your life. You've literally either got to want to do it, you know, even if it's like we get girls who just work with us, like Lucy Lane, like Carly Hudson and stuff, you know, they just come back to us. We don't stop them working for anybody else, but they're just quite happy just to get like a little bit of money for a couple hours work. I mean, what pays £300 for 3 hours work? You don't get that
Not
on
a
a
lot.
day working in fucking Asda, do you? So,
No.
you know what I mean? So it's still... Old school performers will probably think, oh, this has gone downhill, like the money, which it has. I'm not going to lie. But for someone new coming in, it's better paid than most jobs that they could get in the private sector. So, but that shouldn't be the reason to tempt you.
No.
You need to do it for other reasons than just money, because otherwise it'll just end up in fucking tears. You know what I mean? It's time to bring back an old section, right? But right there, we've got to edit this Scarlett's sex tip, because it's not of the week, because we fucking don't know when we're going to do this again, do we? It'll probably be next 4 years time or something. So what have you got for us?
Are you just wanting us to do one?
No, I'll tell you what. Do two.
Do two.
Because we're back. And
Okay.
it's something to celebrate.
Ooh, we're pushing the boat
And
out.
our new home on itsadult.com.
I've got a different app, so it might actually have some different...
It's been that long, I can't pull you up on that anymore.
It's on
When it was every week, I was like, we've had that before.
Yeah.
So I can't remember any of them.
Yeah. Right, the first one for today. It says, both women and
Oh,
men...
we've had that one. I used to do that all the time, didn't I?
Like,
Right, go on then. Go
Oh,
on then.
I'll slap you. I'll start again. Both women and men are most likely to have their first orgasm alone.
Well, that's not hard to believe,
I mean,
is it?
yeah,
You
that's...
can sort of believe
I
that,
can
can't you?
absolutely believe that.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
'cause
You want to make sure that you last long enough when it does come time to doing it with a lass, don't you?
we'll put it this way, right? If a guy's planning on having a Pornhub wank, right? You've got to say that because it's the 21st century and that, and everyone watches Pornhub, don't you? It's like you don't need a DVD collection anymore. You either go along with the storyline and try and last as long as the full scene. I do sometimes, right? And fucking shoot your load, time it, so you're doing it in the face, you know what I mean? Right? Or you just want to fucking empty your bollocks because you like watermelons and you haven't had a wank for 2 days, right? So, depending on how fast or slow you go, I can make myself come in fucking seconds.
Yeah.
Well, fucking porn model kind of now, like, to be honest with you. It's all about ordinary porn in this fucking company. But you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, so, you know how to touch your own buttons, don't you?
Yeah.
And women certainly know how to make themselves come easier than a guy, because most guys can't do it.
That's the thing. I think a woman has, well, doesn't have to, but a lot of the time they always, like, explore their own body to find out what type of things turn you on and what type of things you'd be able to say to your partner, I really like this. If you didn't know that, then technically you'd be like finding out together, I suppose.
Yeah, but that's how biologically different men and women are, because a woman has to discover to find out, and we just go, ugh. It's like, a woman can make a man come every fucking time. Sometimes too fucking soon, that's the problem. So, like, it's sad that a woman has to fucking experiment, because the bloke just goes, no, just touch me Jap's eye and it'll wink at you.
The thing is,
You know what I
right,
mean?
I know this is going to sound awful and everything, But sometimes women have to finish themselves off anyway, don't they? Because a lot of the time, guys cannot make them come.
Yeah. The easiest way to do it is with your tongue. If you're good with your tongue, you can forgive your pelvic movements. You know what I
pretty
mean?
much.
I
I learned to go down on women very well.
Yeah. And then you had an enhancement and all.
I did have the enhancement.
Tongue piercing. So how do you use that then? Like, because obviously that moves.
Yeah.
So when you're licking the pussy, does that tickle the clit?
It can tickle the clit. Yeah. It's very good for doing.
Is it still cold because it's been in your mouth or not? Do we go, oh, it's cold, like metal does and shit?
Nah, it's usually quite warm.
Alright, cool.
But I would advise all men to get that for the women if they really care.
So
about
is that
them.
like a cock ring for the tongue and it's like
kinda
excellent sensation?
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. So I've seen a cock ring on the internet where you put it on your dick and it's got another dick attached to yours, so you can.
Did you know what?
Penetrate them at the same
I
time.
literally
You
sell
probably
that
have on
in
your
my shop.
have you?
Yeah, I do.
For anyone who doesn't know, right, James works in a sex shop, right? And his bosses know. His bosses are going to let us film in the shop, so you know, Nerd Pervert episodes coming in the fucking sex shop.
We're going to have some exciting stuff in them
fucking
shops.
Great, isn't it? You'll not see it for fucking 2 years, but.
Oh.
Right, next one then.
Right, I've got the
Unless
next one.
anyone's got anything else to say on that one.
No.
No.
No. Right, this one actually continue on from the orgasm theme. This is about men though. It says the record for male orgasms is 16 in 1 hour.
Fucking
Jesus
hell.
Christ.
Yeah.
Fuck
What do you
that,
think
mate.
of that?
You're quite impressive though. Seriously, like you
Yeah,
are.
but after
Like,
that,
you do a good,
Say
no,
the
mate,
question.
you do a good cum shot,
uh-huh.
but you probably think your cum shot gets less and less because they do.
Right.
But that's still a big one compared to some people's.
The one question I have to ask is after like the 4th or 5th one, would you want to go on to have like a 16th one?
After a while, my dick gets numb.
Yeah, no,
So-
it's the exact same.
So I could probably, yeah.
How many do you think you'd be able to do
Well,
then in
when
an
I was-
hour? In an hour, how many do you
see,
think you?
that's the thing. In an hour, I have no idea.
Well, you
Probably,
did 4 in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And they were good cum shots as well, everyone.
That they were.
So well done.
But then again, that age
Big tens.
slows you down. Big tens. Nice.
But yeah, aye.
I
So
know.
16 in 1 hour.
well, the
My
thing is,
good
if you
God.
haven't done it, you don't know, do you?
Exactly.
I reckon the most I've done is 2 in an hour, like, and that's pushing it. Because
Yeah.
I usually need that. That's why in between sets I need 40 minutes just to be able to want to fuck again, and that's without doing it. Otherwise, I'll be going for fucking hours. You know what I mean?
Hey.
I know, like, it's just, there's no point really, is there?
Well, except
Like,
for woman's satisfaction having a longer sex session.
Well, yeah, but I'd imagine, like, a woman would prefer you not to come so many times.
Yeah.
Aye. No,
Obviously.
then,
I don't know.
But the thing is, like,
then you're
if,
stopping and you might be
Exactly.
yeah,
just
but
reaching
if
the
you
spot.
think if your cock starts to get numb and things like that after like your second one, a woman wouldn't mind because obviously the sex might be on for longer. So instead of like a 10 to 20 minute sex session, it might be an hour and a half or something having sex, and she'd
I
be
don't
more
think
likely
there's
to
many
come
women who could
maybe.
have sex for an hour and a half, like.
Oh, probably not. But
Well, some.
Well,
It
some,
depends.
yeah, some. Like seriously though, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? Because you're getting bashed the whole time. That's happening. Do you know what
you
I mean?
can do other things. You don't have to
Yeah,
be
exactly.
bashed the entire time.
Experiment.
Yeah, but like, you fucking fanny would be black and blue, wouldn't it?
You'd be
right.
satisfied for the week and you wouldn't need to do it again for the rest of the week.
Oh, do you know, some women will be fucking still wanting it the next day. You're like, fucking hell, man, I've just lost fucking 20 stone, fucking yeah. So,
There
They
you
were-
go,
they
the
were-
two.
they were
I was
interesting
ready
there.
as well.
aye,
Woo!
we're ready, aye. Yeah, I shouldn't have preempted it at the beginning, should I?
I know.
Because now we've broke.
Oh yeah, I already had it on my phone, so you can't say I
we're in new
wasn't prepared.
territory now. We've come back. We're in new territory. People who can remember us the first time round, they'll just be like, "It's not the same. She's too prepared. It's too organised. This. It used to be like a fucking farmyard."
I need to find it.
Yeah.
That's what it was always like, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode, everyone. Sorry it's been so long.
Sorry, he's been talking the most.
Yeah. I'm not fucking sorry. I'm
Yeah,
afraid.
I'd imagine that was probably
Gonna happen.
what happened all the time.
Yeah, basically.
But yeah, we hopefully you enjoy this episode. Hopefully, you know, some of you remember who we are, and hopefully you'll stick with us. because 30,000 listeners a week we used to fucking have 4 years ago.
Mhm.
We did that on our own with
Yeah.
no platforms, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I let the domain slip and fucking lost all that. So,
Oh, you
so
crap.
it's a new era. You know what I mean? I wouldn't care, it's only fucking £6 for 2 years, so I said if I couldn't afford it. So it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Fuckity bye!
Is that a catchphrase?
No.
Aye.
Oh.
This programme was brought to you by itsadult.com, the official adult business directory for fans, producers, services, webcam, phone chat and more.